Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I have with me today Renee Bradford. How are you, Renee?
I am doing great. How are you, Kim?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing even better now that you are here officially. You know, you're a woman that's abroad, traveling, working, wearing so many different hats. I was like, are we going to get her here officially? And you are right here in the studio, virtual studio, that is. So I'm excited to have you here with us today.
So am I.
Very glad. Listen, everyone, grab your virtual seats. Let us know where you're visiting in from and go ahead and tag your friends, family, coworkers. Let them know that today we have on the Kim Jacobs Show, Renee Bradford, and Renee is going to be talking to us about how we can trade the beauty from ashes. How do we get to the beauty that comes from some of the things that we've experienced in our lives that were full of ashes? Things that were life circumstances that happened to us. She's going to share her journey with us today, and we can't wait to hear it. So go ahead and grab your virtual seats. I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds. People usually say, Kim, do not start having her talk. And you didn't even give us a chance to even get in our seats. You know, we out here lined up. We out here lined up in front of the studio. I could barely get in. And now you trying to go ahead and start the show. So I'm going to give people just 30 seconds to come on in the studio, and then we're going to get started.
Absolutely.
Right, everyone. There you have it. You had your 30 seconds. I hope you're in your virtual seats. And today we have with us Renee Bradford. She is an emerging author with an upcoming release of her first book. Now, this woman is majorly accomplished, but this is going to be her first book that she's going to be releasing. So you know it's going to be filled with some gems, which is a gift that she's offering to humanity. This awesome work will highlight her life's purpose, which is to help people move beyond their trauma to live their best life, to see the many blessings along the way. This literary work is a celebration and demonstration, an example of how to focus on the blessings versus the tragedies. Now, there is like a whole lot of stuff about her overall career, but I'm going to give you a chance to hear that directly from Renee herself versus me saying everything and then she's not going to have anything to say. Okay, so welcome, Renee Bradford. How are you?
Yes, I am terrific. Thank you for the opportunity to share kind of this story and also share what I believe is a gift to humanity in terms of another way to look at life circumstances that happen to all of us, right? Because to almost quote a Bible scripture, rain falls on the just and unjust. Translation, stuff gonna happen to all of us, right? Keep living. If it hasn't yet, you keep breathing, you will experience something, right? Traumatic or tragic or whatever category like that you put it in.
That's interesting. Now, I know that you are you have a lucrative career, and you can tell us about that. Tell us a little bit about your career first, and then take us back, because I'd rather know where you are now so people can appreciate where you came from.
Yeah, so the beauty now.
The beauty, share some of the beauty.
I've spent 30 plus years in the IT industry working for terrific companies, names like IBM and Hewlett Packard and on and on. I've held positions as high as director, but more than that, in all of the jobs that I've had over the 30 plus years, one word that comes to mind in terms of what I do is I serve others.
Serving others.
It's service. So what do I mean by that? The minute somebody new could come in and they needed to know something, I'm the first one like, hey, let me mentor you. Let me help you. I've mentored countless people. In the last, I'll say 10, 15 years of my career, I've done service in terms of employee resource groups. So I headed up the Atlanta Black Employee Networks for one of my employers. And for another one now, currently where I work, I'm the head of the Leading Women Community Board, where our goal is to get all the men and women in our company at the table to remove unconscious bias, to really, at the end of the day, get women elevated and stop making excuses. Period. Drop the mic. That's right. Because that all sounds cute, but what am I trying to do? Get women elevated. And that service is not just service in terms of being a co-chair of the organization of women and executives, but that service is having a ear of a lot of the executives and telling them about things in that manner, like, hey, let's look at this and that.
Right.
You don't necessarily see me, walking around with a picket sign, or you might not necessarily see me on the front pages of the employee book. You might.
Right.
But, it goes back to, my husband said one time, are you a king or a king maker? And I said, I'm a king maker.
I love it.
And I sit in that really with all, just honor and glory for that. And I know that now. So I operate in that way. I'm not seeking to be seen. I'm seeking to be understood so that other women can lift up. What I will call success in my current situation is to see more women elevate, get hired more, and then not just get hired. Guess what? You can hire and just have like a revolving door. But what about more women in executive suite positions and more women at the table making decisions? Because studies show when women are in those situations, when we are leaders,
right,
we make the organizations a much better place because of who we are innately. It's just a part of who we are.
That's great. So you're a king maker. And people listen, you all can actually stay connected with Renee Bradford just by visiting her, emailing her at reneebradford@yahoo.com. And I say this again because of our podcast listeners that's on iHeartRadio and all of the audio podcasts as well. It's Renee Bradford@yahoo.com. Do you think that people...
Don't forget the G, Renee G. Bradford at yahoo.com.
G. That's why I need my glasses on. See? And my mom, she bought me a magnifying glass. She's like,
listen, I get that one.
My mom's like, you need that magnifying glass so that you can see better without having to tilt those glasses over.
Oh my
Renee,
goodness.
G is in girl, Bradford at yahoo.com. Listen, Renee, do you think that people have been receptive to you wanting to be a king maker and a diversity and inclusion specialist type of thing within the industry?
Well, you know what? One thing about leaders, you don't look for someone to give you an assignment. Leaders lead, right?
Yeah.
So I just do that. That's who I am. That's what I do. And so one of the things I immediately do is look for ways to serve, because that's what you're doing, right? And so I will tell you, though, I also know I have the gift of having a personality where I can open my arms to you and have a diverse conversation, listen to something that may be difficult for other people, and then have a conversation with you and help you see the other side. Because I think what you see going on right now in this country is everyone stuck in, this is how I feel. This is what I'm going through.
Right.
Right. And the country is fickle a little bit, because on one hand, we got excited and we were in the streets marching, and now we forgot about that, because now I'm back to who I was and I'm thinking about what I want. And I think one of the things that I know for a fact, I'm a leader. So it's just like, I find a way to be serving.
That's good.
And so I joined the Leading Women Board, and then I went to co-chair pretty quickly because the need was there.
Good.
And then I quickly saw, when a lot of the diversity questions and issues were coming up, one of the things I immediately noticed was there were people that wanted to ask questions, but they felt uncomfortable. Like, well, if I ask that, they might get mad. And then there were people who, listen, on the side of the, let's say if the issues around Black or women,
Right.
like I'm tired of having to have these conversations, right?
Bottom line,
I
right.
offered myself up and said, I'm not tired. Listen, if you want to say something and it might be crazy, come to me. I'm a safe place.
Right. We can vet it out a little bit.
Yeah, so let's have that talk. And actually, guess what? People did that. They took me up on it.
That's good.
And that was good. And I started seeing, by telling my story or telling, helping people see the things that happen, how many people were like, oh my gosh, I never looked at it that way. So let's unwind a little bit, Kim, right? Let's step back a little bit. So, okay, it's the beauty. I am a product of starting with a parent, that parents were married, but then my mom was basically on her own. My dad was never around, right? Long story short, me and my brother end up in the foster care system. Okay.
Well, see, now that right there, you can't do a long story short when we have a whole hour, right, Renee? So wait. We're gonna take a commercial break, and then we're gonna come back, everybody, and we're gonna hear the longer version of the long story short from Renee Bradford, who's saying that her and her brother ended up in foster care.
Yes,
that's a lot to unpack, Renee.
Yes, it is.
So I would like for you, if you would, to unpack it a little slower for us when we come back.
Okay. Sure.
Renee, you could have technically been a talk show host too, even though you already had an industrial engineer. You're like, okay, so in this segment, we're gonna say unpack and keep it going. And I'm like, what? No, time out. Listen, everybody, we're talking with Renee Bradford right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And as you can see, she's an industrial engineer, has worn many different hats in her corporate world, but she's going to take us on her journey from where it all began for her and her younger brother, who she ended up, as she's already shared, in foster care. How did that happen to this?
Yeah, so I'm not going to disclose all because that'll be in the book. But what I will tell you at the end of the day, I was a product of parents who, again, my dad just wasn't in the picture. My mom ended up getting sick. My dad tried, people tried to help out. But at the end of the day, it just got too much. And the next thing was, after everybody, had their hands in it, we were in foster care, sitting there without any parents. Me and my brother, and actually he's my older brother, but it's okay to call him my younger brother because he looks at me kind of like a mom, because while you look at me and I say I have this beauty from ashes, my brother does not have beauty. My brother still looks at us as if we were in the situation.
So he hasn't gotten beyond that. That still holds him and has a stronghold on him. Listen, right after this commercial break, we're going to hear more about Renee, about her brother, and the stronghold that this unfortunate life circumstances took on him, and now where it actually kind of catapulted her into her destiny. Right after this commercial break. Wow.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
Everyone, we are back and we are talking with Renee Bradford today. I want to make sure that I let you know that attorney Kenneth D. Snow, they have had some significant victories recently with some of their trials that have been murder convictions that were overturned. He had a young man that had been away from his family for 5 years, wrongfully accused of murder, and attorney Kenneth D. Snow and his family was able to reunite him back with his family. His phone number is 704-358-0026. info@snowlegal.com. Please let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you their way. And so we're here talking today with Renee Bradford. Renee, you said that your childhood was not so pleasant, even though
it wasn't. So again, in the foster system, but the beauty of it so I'm going to give you both sides. The beauty of it was I ended up coming out, living with a family member, and then because I looked at life in terms of, you know what? I'm not going to focus. And again, this is just how I dealt with it, was to look at it like, what can I do so that I don't end up here again or whatever.
Right.
So for me, I started facing forward as a young person and going, oh, school. Oh, what is it? What can help me? My brother, on the other hand, started thinking, you know what? Maybe God don't like me too much. And maybe, why is all this bad stuff happening? You know what? It's just my bad luck. It's bad stuff. So we went through life where I was always looking at forward, right? I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. He went to college and all that, but in all his success, he could never see it, because all he can see is what happened to us. And for me, all I could do is look. All I could see is what's in front of me, right?
Wow.
And I, it's almost the analogy. If you look through a car windshield, the windshield's big, rear view mirror small. Which one are you gonna focus on, right?
Right.
And I focused on the windshield. He focused on the mirror, and what ended up happening. And to this day, life finds him right now. He is recovering. He's on a journey of recovery in a rehabilitation place, because he just got sick from just festering in the thoughts of what happened to us and feeling like life had just dealt a terrible blow. But then on the other hand, you got myself, who's sitting there going, I'm not focusing on it. I'm not thinking about it, to the point for years I didn't even talk. For years I didn't even talk about it. And so the reason I'm writing this book, I'm skipping over some so you get the book, and I'll make sure I send you everything when it's live. Wow. But the way we looked at life is where I was able to land at beauty and he was not. I don't say that to say I'm a better person.
Of course not.
I say that to say, on one hand, sometimes we are sitting in the past, but what we need to do sometimes is like, where am I now? Yeah, that happened, but now I went to college. I have a successful marriage. I have kids. I have a great job. I can focus on that.
Right.
I can sit here and go, you know what, man, I can't believe I was in foster care. And a lot of times we're doing that. We're like sitting in the circumstance that's 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. And it's like, let's break away and start looking at, okay, where am I now? Did I get away from it? Did I move forward? Was I able to have a great relationship? Am I in counseling? Am I in therapy? Those are all gems, right? Because I think so. Past the circumstance and I've taken control of it if I can. But if I can't, that's what therapy, counseling, right? All that's there. And we need to use those things if we find that we cannot see the beauty or move past the situation. But if it's 30 years ago and you're still majoring on it, yes, you need to have a breakthrough. And yes, you need to talk to someone, get some counseling, get some therapy, and say, I need to focus on the future and not the past. And for some people, it will be a journey that includes help, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you are saying some profound things here today. Sometimes we find ourselves sitting in the past, making sure we get the counseling that we need. If we find that we can't get the help or we don't have the wherewithal within ourselves to make it kind of happen and conquer and dominate the situation, get the professional help that we need. Yeah. Listen, this is some good stuff that we're learning right here from Renee Bradford. And I encourage you to share this broadcast with all of your friends. Renee, you're saying that your brother is now in therapy. He's getting the help that he needs, rehabilitation. There are people that are watching today that need the advice that you're sharing. How would you encourage them to not end up in therapy, but say, this is what you can do to prevent this from happening and start from where you are and get to the next phase of your life? How do you recommend that for people?
One is to take a look at where you are right now. Don't look back. Sit where you are right now. Do you have a roof over your head? Are you at least in a homeless shelter with a plan? Have you met someone that can help you get an apartment? Are you in an apartment? Are you in a house? Are you married? Do you have children? Do you have something that you're in now that's good? Have you walked away from the situation? Are you years away from it, right? So those are the things to look at. That's the beauty. Sometimes we're getting beauty and we don't even recognize it, right? Thus, I will use my brother as an example. He went to college, he had a great business, and all the time, unbeknownst to a lot of people, he was thinking, why did that happen to me? Like that was literally in his mind to almost a self-sabotage. So what should you do if you find yourself there? If you can't, one, if you know, for me, I look at I have a higher power. God is my refuge, he's my everything.
Right.
So if for you, that's one, to look at your relationship with God and join a Bible study so you can learn what God says you are. Because what he says you are, if you can take that in, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that he's not making any mistakes. Look, he knew every hair on your head. He knows what you're going to do before you did it. He knew how he was going to work you through the situation.
Yes.
If you can grasp that, great. That's one thing. But if you can't, that's okay. Go to therapy, get a counselor, get in a group where you can say, look, this thing happened to me and I need to move on. Because sometimes just knowing that, you may not be able to do it by yourself, but there's a whole world of help out there. So go grasp that and start talking about, start even telling yourself when you find that thought coming, right? One of the things is don't take it. Think about, well, you know what?
I reject this. This is going to get in my spirit.
Yeah, but I'm doing great now. I got a great husband, or I got great friends, or I'm in my own place now. I'm not in foster care anymore. So I'm not going to sit and think about that anymore. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just means that is not the focus. I'm in the windshield, not the rear view. So if you can get yourself, because that rear view to me is so small, but boy, it sucks the life out of us. And that can happen with anything. And I'm talking a bigger picture, but let's look at a smaller picture. If somebody offended you, or somebody made a comment about you, last week and said, oh, I don't like your hair. And all of a sudden now you're like, oh my gosh.
What? You don't like my natural hair? What? You want me to get my perm back?
Yeah, so then it's funny. We'll fixate on that. If 50 people in the street go, oh girl, you sharp. You will sometimes we will, we'll remember the person last week.
One comment.
Or, even as simple as I've learned to take compliments. If someone goes, you know what, you look nice. You know what some of us will do? Oh, this outfit,
this whole thing.
Man,
I just threw this.
Girl, I gained 10 pounds, whatever, instead of thank you and like sit in it. Sometimes, like when you get a compliment all the time, take it, sit in it. Wow, thank you. That's it. No one asked you to give them a whole dissertation on why or what. It's like we will reject a compliment. We will reject the goodness coming our way. And it's all kind of a characteristic of where you end up, where all you're thinking about is every mistake you made or everything you did wrong or everything people did to you, instead of thinking, now I'm 40, 50, 30, and it's on me now. I choose to face forward. I choose.
I love it. I love it.
Make a decision.
When I was in college, I used to walk around and tell people, are you having a great day? And people would be like, first of all, why is she talking to me? And I was just genuinely asking people, are they having a great day? Or how are you? Hope your day is going great. Make it a great day. And just little things like that. And I did that every single day. It wasn't anything that I was faking with or anything I was going out of my way to do. It was just a part of who I am. So I was like, hey, hope you're having a great day. How's your day going? And then at the end of the day, guess what? I became the senior class president at a predominantly Caucasian school, James Madison University, for all of you JMU Dukes, right? Yeah. So I became the senior class president in 1992, and that's a voted position. The reason I believe I was voted is because the majority of those people there knew me, because they were like, oh, her? Oh, yeah, we see her every day. We talk to her every day. And it wasn't because I was trying to get to a position. It was just because I cared about what they were going through,
Yeah, and I think that's the point, right? And everybody's different, right? We're like fingerprints. We all come and present with our unique ability, our unique purpose, and our unique calling. So stay in that. Don't, mine is to serve and to help people see beauty from ashes and to tell my story in a way that it helps someone else. I had no interest in talking about what I've been through just to talk about it. So a lot of people are like shocked and surprised that know me. And it's because what is the point of it? Now there's a point to me.
Right.
When that point had been revealed, okay, now you're going to tell your story as a gift to humanity, because there's a group of people who will understand this, read it, and reflect and go, you know what, I'm doing that, and I can come out of that.
That's
But
right.
then there may be another group who goes, I'm reading it, I'm doing it, I need help. That's fine.
And that's fine.
But this is targeted, this gift for humanity is targeted at those people who are going to go, oh my goodness, or the aha moment, or whatever you want to say, where they go, I am sitting here focusing on the past, and look at all this good stuff I got here. I'm not even enjoying it because I'm so busy focusing.
That's right. What am I thankful for today?
Right.
What am I thankful for? That the gift that God has given me, the people that God's given me, the people that I've encountered that want to be a part of my life, not the ones that don't want to be. Okay, then we just cut ties in that regard and keep it moving. But at the end of the day, there are some people that genuinely care about me, or that I care about too. So we can make a good run at it,
Exactly. And that, to me, that's where my gifting comes in. And those are the people I'm talking to.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm not trying to serve everybody. I'm trying to serve people who my purpose put me here to serve. And I realized that my life and what I'm about is a gift of service. And this is how I serve. And the fact that I never looked at it that way, but that at this point in my life, bright, shiny object. People are like, oh, you're great, you're successful. People think, like Beyonce said, I was born like this. No, I woke up like this or whatever. No, right? This was a work in progress. And so to tell the story, now it lends credibility to me saying, hey, focus on the future. Someone's like, okay, you know what? I can listen to her, right?
Right, because she's been there, she's done that. She really has gone from being in foster care, left by her family, to deal with the situation where now who wants me? Nobody wants me per se, but actually God wanted you. So anyway, I won't go too far.
He had a bigger purpose.
He had a whole
little did I know that that purpose would be unfolded at this point in my life. And it just unfolded with, this past year in the pandemic. It was the time where God chose to, in my opinion, I said, download to me like, okay, got me quiet, got me where I couldn't do a whole lot of things. And I don't at all, and I want to say this, bad things happen. And Renee Bradford, does not believe
Renee
that God,
Bradford, Renee G.
I do not believe that God causes anything bad to happen, right? But what I do believe is that God is omnipotent, omniscient, omni-knowing, omnipresent. And what he does do is he knows it's coming. And then he's like, yeah, but you thought you were going to take her out with that? I'm going to take that situation and let her start to understand that she got a story to tell, because it took for me to be in 2020 to have a blood clot and to have a hysterectomy, for me to realize that it was just quietness. And it came to me like, I need you to tell the story. And I'm like, I mean, literally. And I was in the quiet, and it came to me. I had to schedule surgery, and I'm thinking normally, oh, I'm gonna be off work 6 weeks. Let me see, I can clean out this closet. And it was like, no, I don't want you doing nothing.
You're gonna be on relaxing, totally recovering.
Exactly. That's what came to me. Yes. And it was like, no, there was no, God didn't come down and speak. It was just in my head. It came to me audibly saying, and in my head, I should say, saying, I want you to do nothing. I don't want you making any plans. I want you to recover sitting still. And I didn't, I obeyed that. It wasn't hard because I was like, I don't want to clean out these closets anyway. So it was easy. But in that time, what I noticed was that was the first time in years that my mind had been still. That my mind had been still enough to be like, you know what, you got a story in you. And someone prophetically spoke over me in a Bible study I was in. Someone who I know, if it coming from them, I knew it was God. Right. And they said, I was telling my little story about how God healed me and all the fun stuff after everything. And she said, yeah, because you got a book, about 3 books. And I was like, what? And I was already thinking about it. And anyway, I was like, wait a minute. So I was trying to catch her. What? Because you're like, okay, Lord, dump it on me. And she didn't answer her phone. But I knew. And it was like, okay. Well, then I said, oh, okay, I got a book. Well, what's the book? again, sitting in the quiet, just like I shouldn't say doing nothing, but I was saying letting God download and dump so I can get it. That's when it all came. So in that time the things happened medically that were crazy because I'm this healthy person.
Right.
Fret, fuss, I did, I sat still. And when I came out the other end, I was like, in January, I was like, oh, wow, this time it's time to rock and roll. And it made my service clearer. It made my mission, my purpose. It was almost like, I was like, oh God, you mapped all of this out.
All of it.
And I didn't see it. So that's the other great thing. Like, I didn't see it. This is not some grand plan I've had all my life. I didn't say, I want to write a book. I didn't think that. So this I know. And then at work, I'm busy, and so writing a book in my spare time, but I work every day. I love my job, and as you know, I'm the chair for the Leading Women. That's in my spare time. I don't get paid to do that. That's like a volunteer.
That's your gift to humanity,
Right.
your
And then the other
extracurricular
gift,
service, right?
as I tell people, I have the mic I say this, I have the mic, right? So people will listen to me. So what do I use the mic for? To serve. Hey, how can we help women? How come, especially in the pandemic, one of the first things I started seeing and watching women on the video camera, like exhausted kids running around in the background. And I'm like, how are we going to do this? And the first thing we came out and said, hey, let's get all the women in our company on the phone and go, how do you manage yourself in a pandemic?
Well, see, that's why you all need to bring me into bring the corporate executive myself from the Fortune 500 pharmaceutical company that I used to be with for 10 years. And I could come in and do a training on how to balance life in the midst of chaos.
I'm gonna write you down. So when we have something, that's for sure. We look for other speakers.
Well, Cassandra's gonna come with me though. Cassandra, I'll pull you in a minute. You traveling with me. That's our road trip. We road dogs. She's laughing back there. Here for a second.
Actually,
please. Can I pull you in? You going with me, Cassandra?
Yes, and I will tell you that we do it like my company is headquartered out of Canada, so they are operating with the abundance of caution, with the U.S. kind of having different rules and regulations.
Okay.
They have not opened our offices, so we've been doing virtual. And that's because every state here has different guidelines and ordinances. And their take on it is, look, we'll wait for the, kind of humanity, the global uniform way to open up. And so we have it. So you might be able to even do something virtual with the team where, again, we service women. Other thing is I study all the women in the workplace reports and I share them with the executive team and I do call outs. Hey, here's some issues, right? And, literally during I'm still co-chair, but during my co-chair title job responsibility with Soft Choice, one of the things I said to everyone is, look, I want something measurable.
Yes.
So one of the measurable things, there's something called Great Place to Work survey that they're really big on in Canada. Again, we're headquartered there. And so I said, listen, we want to get on the Great Place to Work for Women survey. So in order to get on that, you have to score certain things on the regular survey, which always does. And so guess what? We made the Great Place to Work for Women survey.
Congratulations.
So, it's not just about fluff. It's about, again,
she just used metrics. You know what? You just used one of my favorite words. And Cassandra knows I say that all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh. I try to steer away from saying that because I've said that to some people in the past and it really was offensive. It's offensive to people. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't want us to be dealing with fluff stuff. I just really want us to get results, get rid of the excuses and make results so that we can be accountable and measurable and we can have the outcomes that we say we're looking to have in our lives, and that's, to me, that's important.
That's what we did. And then we keep the journey going. It's like, okay, let's look at the metrics on the report. Which ones can we improve? But more than that, we moved to a bigger purpose, which was, hey, how can we help the entire organization increase gender of women in general and then in key roles?
I love this.
Yeah.
Now, and tell me again, where are you currently working again? Because I know
the company is called Soft Choice.
Soft Choice. Okay.
Yeah, so it's an IT solution provider. They're headquartered out of Toronto, Canada. And they are a great company in terms of, really trying to make strides in terms of diversity. At the same time, Kim, we got a lot of work to do, right?
And you know
Full
what? I think with
disclosure.
you at the helm,
Mhm.
it's gonna be accomplished, and you're gonna see yourselves not only on Great Place to Work for Women, but on lots of other billboards in
I
your
hope so.
industry.
Yeah. And I hope we see, for me, the bigger thing is I want to see a lot of women elevated at the table making decisions
Yeah.
and in the jobs where I want there to be a lot more balance, because we want to look like our customers and we want to look like the community at large we serve. And that's really the big picture, right? You want to be a reflection of the community. And I
That's
think a lot of people miss that. They're, trying to, oh, someone's taking my job. No, we want to be a
There's plenty
reflection
of space for
of the
everyone to flourish and to
Yes.
shine. And when you're working within your own lane and your skill sets, everyone wins. And each person looks great because you're focused on what you're supposed to be focused on to make the company an overall better place to be. So
Absolutely.
it's beautiful. It's
That's the
beautiful.
goal.
We
That is the
literally
goal.
are having a conversation here, everyone. And I think you guys are just listening in. So I'm like leaning back. I'm like, okay, so Renee, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk to them about how to prioritize their days, to
Okay.
maximize their days, and then get the most out of the day, but without letting the priority, the main thing being the main thing for the day,
Yes.
because everything can't be the main thing, Renee.
No, it
So we're
cannot.
just sitting here talking, everybody. And let me take a commercial break and we'll come right back right after this break. And we're talking with Renee Bradford, and she's talking to us about how to get beauty from some of the ashes that we have in our lives. Now,
Yeah.
keep in mind, she has an upcoming book, which is going to be her first book that she's ever written. It's going to be a gift to humanity, to talk to people about how to get past life circumstances. Don't let them hold you back in the past. For example, her past consisted of foster care with her and her brother being abandoned and left for foster care for someone that they didn't know to take care of them. Also, blood clot, hysterectomy, you name it, this woman has experienced it. But yes, she's experienced some beauty from her ashes.
Right.
So when we come back, we're going to hear more from Renee Bradford. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and type them now, and I will pop them all up right when we come back after this commercial break. You enjoying yourself, Renee?
Absolutely. This is a blast.
All right, all right.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, we are back with Renee Bradford, our guest today, talking to us about how to get beauty from some of the ashes that we've experienced. And she shares so many words of wisdom already, but I want to make sure people walk away knowing, Renee, that literally no matter what they experience, there is hope for them at the end of the tunnel. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
There's always light.
What advice would you give people today that want to experience that light?
One is focus on where you are now and focus on what you can be grateful for now, what gratitude you can have for the things and the people and where you are in your life and what you have. Sometimes we're so focused on what we don't have, right? So that's a good, technique and tool. Gratitude is a great tool, right?
Right.
To help you see where you are and sit in that. And the other thing is, if you're in a storm or if you're in a circumstance that you right now is traumatic to you, for me, is focusing on the word of God. It's focusing on a higher power that says you will get through this.
That's
This
right.
too shall pass. You're going through a storm. To go through, you got to come out the other side.
Yes.
So you're not staying, you're going through. And to focus and only surround yourself with things and people that are going to uplift you, feed you, faith and wisdom. I think a lot of times we put ourselves around people who are negative. Oh goodness, look at you. You're in the hospital. You did it. Instead of, girl,
What did you do? It's like, girl, get out of here.
Go, who do you listen to? What are you listening to? What are you exposing your mind to? What are you reading? And some of us are into, like we talked a little bit about Facebook, but into this whole fake friends, everyone liking and looking and all this on out there, where you're not using it as a tool to connect and to distribute wisdom. You're using it as a tool to assess how many people like you or how many people don't like you. And if you can take yourself away from that and think about, I only want to surround myself with people who want to lift me up. And guess what? I don't have 100 people standing beside me. I might have one or two.
That's right.
Sometimes I don't have any, and it's good. It's okay, because I'm not looking for fake friends or.
That's right. Who needs fake friends? You can have so-called real friends that's faking you out.
That's the other one. Look who's in your life sucking the life out of you. Look,
you're like, get out of here.
And it can be sometimes, unfortunately, family. And it's okay. You can still love people, but you don't have to give them a front row seat to go with you where you're going. You know, you can love people and be like, you know, I love you. You come over for Thanksgiving, but I'm not going to sit and have a conversation. Some of us are answering phone calls and like talking ourselves into disasters.
We already know before we even, this is stuff I've already written the book, but part of it in there, I'm talking about this. We already know before we even answer the phone,
yes,
before we even take the call, before we even open the door to invite that person in, that it is going to be disastrous. Why? Because the pattern has already shown that this is what happens when you deal with this particular person or with this particular situation. So something has to be done differently, or it's considered insanity. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you think that the result's going to be different, then that's called insanity. How can you expect a different outcome if you're not doing anything any differently? Something has to break that cycle in order for us to have a different outcome, right?
Right. And I would say the biggest key is you have to you have to do it. No one can do it for you. You have to decide, you know, what do I want? What do I want my life to look like? And are the people in my life right now helping me get there? And the other funny thing not funny thing, but smart thing I always heard is like, if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need a new circle. Or the other one is, are you talking to people who are also feeding into you? Is there someone you're talking to that's going, hey, how you doing? How's it going? You know, just kind of uplifting you. Oh, have you moved forward? You said you wanted to do this. Are you doing it? You know,
somebody that's holding you accountable for what you say you want to do.
And it doesn't have to be deep. It's just friends that are like, hey, we said we were going to go for a walk. Let's go. Or hey, whatever it is, you know, hey, you said you were going to write that book. Have you started? What do you need from me? Like, those are the people you want some people in your life who are that. But the biggest thing is, there are people for sure you can immediately know. Every time I talk to this person, or every time I answer the phone, or every time I go over visit them or get in a group with them, nothing good happens, or I feel horrible, or they put me down. Then why are you doing it again?
Stop subjecting yourself to it. And let me make sure I correct myself, because I have a few friends, Cassandra being one of them backstage, and Sean Hall was another one, that will later be like, I cannot believe you said your real friends faking you up. Your real friends would never fake you up. Not your real friends.
Not your real
but like you said, you don't have hundreds of real friends.
No, if you got one, you're lucky.
Few.
If you got one or two,
Davida and you know, Tyra, Elisa. I have a handful of those.
Well, good, you're blessed. See, there's your gratitude right there.
Yeah,
right.
My mommy is my bestie, you know, too. So it's like, you know, I just got a handful. Sean and Cassandra, different ones that I can say I can count on them to help me through some difficult times in my life.
Exactly. So those are the things. Remember, you're in control of what you hear, a lot of what you see, of what you say. And then how you deal with, circumstances happen to all of us. We all fall down, but how do we get up?
Yes.
What do you say when something happens that's like counter to what you believe in? Or, you know what? Here's a common one that a lot of us do. You wake up in the morning, maybe you can't find your shoe, or your kid forgot to tell you were bringing cupcakes today.
Right.
Somebody cut their finger, and the first thing you'll say is, this is going to be a terrible day.
Oh no,
I
that's right there,
know,
professing it into
right.
your
You, you,
existence.
you know, and so just something as simple. No, how about, you know what? Some things happen, they happen. This is gonna be a great day. And sometimes it's you don't even realize you're doing it. You get bad news and you're like, oh, now what's going on? Hey, I knew it. You did?
You
You know,
already knew it. You called it in. You expected that to happen.
I
Then
knew it.
that's part of the problem.
And then you'll say something. Now, what else is going to happen if something else? Yep. Or
And here goes something
people
else,
die in
right?
threes. Somebody died. Somebody. Oh, who's next? Like,
How about we rebuke it? That's what I do. I say I rebuke this, and I mean the devil's a liar, and I'm not going to accept or embrace this into my world. We're going to
exactly
make it a great day.
something.
We're going to have a great outcome.
Yeah, something. So sometimes it's just being a guard over what is it we're saying, and we're getting. Sometimes I heard a preacher say this: you are a product of what you've been saying, and you're like, whoa. You know, so if you say I can't go back to school, you know why? Because I can't learn. You know, I don't know math. I'm done. You know, well, now you know why you're not back in school. Or you know what? I can't attract. No, there's no good men out here. There's no good men because I've dated guys and I know, my marriage is not going to end well because everybody I know had a bad marriage. So sometimes we're saying these things and a lot of times they call it self-fulfilling prophecies. But I
Wow.
do believe we have a lot of power in what we say.
I agree. I
And a
agree.
lot of times we are literally getting what we say.
Well, I do have a question pertaining to that. Sometimes you have the philosophy, like we do, that great things are going to happen,
Yeah.
great things are to come. I affirm, I believe, I achieve, I ask, and I receive, and all of these things that we've been taught to do. And still, some things happen that
Yes.
were out of our control, our sphere of influence. What do you say to those people?
One, like I used to think when bad things happen, honestly, especially when I became a new believer, oh my gosh, what did I do? You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
God's punishing me and this and that. First thing I didn't know, I learned some not long ago. Like I'm still learning. I learned God. That's why I said very clearly, because I learned this, God does not cause bad things to happen. Do not say God caused 9/11 because he wanted everybody to get together. No, he did not cause that.
Right.
We have free will. We cause our own. We make decisions as human beings, and a lot of times those decisions land us into a place of a consequence. Right?
Good
Sometimes
point.
we are creating our own consequence. Sometimes we've done nothing. We got in a car accident. Somebody rear-ended us. That doesn't mean the promise is not good. It's not valid. The promise is valid. The process has to continue to be worked.
Good.
So I have my process, what I say, what I believe. I'm not moving from my position because a circumstance or
That's
a
the point.
situation happened. I am going to say, you know what? That happened, but I'm still believing for the best. I'm standing on the best. I'm standing looking forward. And one of the things I even start saying is the best is yet to come.
It really is.
Meaning, like, you hear people, oh, you 50. I remember hearing something that kind of stuck with me and I just get it out my head because I remember when I was like 20 something years old at work and there was a lady that was hilarious. And she said something like, oh man, we're going through it. And I'm like, you're going through it. She said, yeah, my dad, I just turned 50. My dad is 60. She said, 50 is the decade of decline. I was like,
50 is the decade of decline.
that's
Lord
what she
have
was
mercy.
saying.
I'm 51, right? And I'm quite excited about my
Right.
new journey.
Well, I'm just saying,
I'm so
listen to
fired
me.
up. I'm so fired up about being 51. It's like God has brought me this far in life,
Yes.
and I cannot even imagine what is yet to come. I'm so excited about the future. I'm
And
so
that,
excited.
but just listen to now, mind you, I was 20 something. And then I would, and just think about if you just sit in that for a second. So somebody's 50 and they're like, yeah, girl, I got sick. And I'm thinking, well, she said it was a decade of decline. But then later in life, I started learning the word. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I was 50. 50 is the decade of where you start learning more. And then you hear people say 50 is the new 30 and all that. I don't care about 50. For every year for me is the best year yet. And the best is coming. And I know a lot more. I'm wiser. I'm stronger. I've seen more. I've seen good. I've seen bad. And I know that there's nothing but goodness for me in my life. So again, that doesn't mean things ain't gonna happen.
That's right.
I'm not giving God credit for something he didn't do. But what I'm gonna do is give credit to where what he did do is leave his word and leave with me the things that say, look, I only expect good. You're blessed in the city. You're blessed everywhere you go, everywhere the foot of my soles of my feet touch, all that. That's what I choose to believe. And guess what? Someone said this once. I'm gonna stay on that positive tip. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna go happy.
That's right. That's right. I am so excited about everything that you're sharing. Look, trading in the ashes and making sure we get beauty from it. I am super excited about it and can't wait for, actually, I'm going to take a commercial break because I have someone at my door who is actually with the camera crew, but I want us to come right back and we're going to hear more from Renee Bradford right after this commercial break. This industrial engineer is, I'm not going to say she's trading things in because she's definitely going to keep her corporate job, right? But she is definitely going on a new venture, which is to become a new author and first-time author, which is her gift to humanity. So I'm so excited about Renee Bradford being here today. And when we come back, Renee, share a closing thought with everyone as to what's next. I know the author is happening, how people can get ready to get pre-prepared for the pre-launch of your book.
Yes.
Tell us some things that we need to know pertaining to what's coming up next with Renee Bradford. I'm so excited about this. Let's get ready to go to our commercial break, and we'll be right back with more from Renee Bradford. All right. Yay. I'm excited, but it's like people ringing the doorbell too.
Did you get your door?
Yeah, they're ringing the doorbell. Okay, here we go.
I'm attorney Charles Everidge. I started out representing insurance companies until my father was seriously injured at work. 4 of his fingers were amputated. Our family went through a lot, so I know what you're going through as an injured worker. If you've been hurt on the job, call me now. I'll fight to get the workers' comp benefits you may deserve. I'll fight for you like family. Put my experience to work for you. Call 704-457-5000, the first call for injured workers.
All right, everyone, and we are back with Renee Bradford, industrial engineer with Soft Choice IT Solutions in Toronto, Canada. And she's now a new author teaching us how to trade in our ashes so that it can be a beautiful experience. So, Renee, what are some closing thoughts that you have for us today?
So one of the biggest closing thoughts, I want to just drop a nugget to everybody. I said it earlier. Your best days are in front of you. And how is that going to happen? Because you're going to make it happen. You're going to believe that, and you're not going to let anything turn you around from that. Right. You can focus on the past, or you can focus on the future. And my nugget today is focus on the future, face forward, and control what you can control. Right? We talked about it. You can control what you allow in your life, what you listen to, what you say. What are you saying? Please start saying, I'm wonderfully and fearfully made.
Yes.
I'm beautiful. I have a gift here, to give to the world. And whatever, and God, your gift is different than mine. Mine is the service to humanity right now. My gift is servanthood. My gift is to uplift and make other people help them see the beauty from the ashes, right? And that's what I leave you with today. You had ashes, you might be in the middle of ashes, but there's beauty. You have to believe it. You have to receive it. You have to speak it, and you have to walk in it no matter what the circumstances look like. Your words and your attitude and your actions will take you into that mode of beauty. And again, things are going to happen. Rain falls on the just, the unjust. Good, bad happens to everyone. But it's how we face it and how we deal with it that makes us different, if we choose to be, makes us successful, that we don't stay in it, and reflect on that. Reflect on the beauty. If you're in something, face forward. Keep saying the best days are in front of me. If you're out of something, stop rehearsing it, talking about it, thinking about it, and start talking about the goodness in your life, the good things that have come out of wherever you are. Focus on that, what you're grateful for, thankful for. And that is my closing remarks to everyone. Live your best life, because it's all right in front of you. Yes,
Well,
indeed.
you are living your best life as one of the, how many industrial engineers are there in the United States? There are over 122,000 industrial engineers currently employed in the United States, but 20.2 of them are women, and I don't know exactly how many are African American women. But the only one I know is this one sitting right here on this virtual
I'm an
show.
only. I've been an only. Listen, that's been my whole career. I've been the only Black. I've been the only woman, the only Black woman, and yet I choose to face forward and look at how I can leave something better than I found it, and that's my goal. It's all about service, and it's all about leaving things better and leaving you better to see the beauty from your ashes.
Well, I am definitely better since you stopped by the Kim Jacobs show today.
Thank you,
And
Kim.
I think that everyone watching is better. Let me make sure I do share some of the studio audience comments that's come
Oh,
in. I see you, Mom, and you said good morning to you. And people have said, Cassandra, you have to be ye also ready at all times on the Kim Jacobs show. You know, my daughter will want to pull you in at any time. And here, look, this is what she's back there doing while you're saying that, Mom. She's like, yes, be ready, be ready. Yes, I'll pull her in anytime she knows it. So
be ready. I like that.
Athena, I see you saying, ladies, you are speaking some good words. Yes, choose me. I choose me. And adore your compliments. Anytime people are complimenting you, accept them and recognize that you are a queen and that you're worthy of getting some compliments in life. Don't be like, oh, this old thing, look at this mess. Oh, I just threw this together. Whatever. The point is, say thank you and be
Yes.
grateful that people are even being kind enough to even acknowledge what you're wearing or doing. Okay. So you want to stay connected with Renee Bradford and definitely be prepared in the lineup for her new book that's coming out. Go ahead and email her at reneegBradford@yahoo.com, and you'll be able to stay connected with her that way.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Renee, for being here today.
Thanks. And Kim, once the book is released, I'm coming back.
I welcome you to come back. So you can tell you're a leader in the corporate world because you don't even need an invitation, right? Normally I say, well, would you like to come back when your book is really, girl, I'm coming back. I'll be back when the book comes out because you bring your own table to the show, right?
I done put myself in the slot already.
You have the link, so go ahead and book yourself and you can launch it right here on the show. Is that
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, everybody, listen. Tomorrow I have a domestic violence advocate. Her name is Mrs. Murphy. She's going to be coming on and talking to us about her journey in dealing with domestic violence and what she's had to overcome, what made her an advocate for this particular area of life. So make sure you tune in, and that's going to be here on the Kim Jacobs Show at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Turn your notification bell to all. And when we go live Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll be right here in the virtual studio audience. Thank you so much, Renee.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to the next talk.
And thank you so much, Cassandra, backstage. And thank you to everyone that's tuned in today. God bless you and have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.